Well, guys, once again, good evening and welcome to the second part of our session. We continue working on Unit 9, 10, that we started yesterday, talking about future, talking about predictions. I hope that you managed to continue working on the virtual campus. Well, that is not part of the component that I assess and evaluate. Of course, that is part of what you do with Professor Laura Juliana. But keep in mind that that is like an opportunity for you to practice those different aspects that we work in our classes. Yesterday, technically, we didn't have like an activity from the gradable component of quizzes. We were working more on like a speaking part. Actually, tonight, taking into account that we will continue talking about the grammatical part, the language focus too, we are going to have, let's say, that written output that is going to be part of the gradable component, okay? Before I take attendance, just like to let you know, we will be working on the topics that we have on our book on pages 100 and 101, okay? Just keep that in mind. I think that I can take attendance. Let's do it immediately so we can start working. I hope that time works on my side. Gerson Arismendi.
Hi,
Hi, Gerson. Someone is waiting en la sala de espera. Keiner Baez.
I'm here, teacher.
Okay, Keiner. Yesid Calderón.
present teacher.
Okay. Natalia Camargo.
Present, teacher.
Okay. William Andrés Castrillón.
Present teacher.
Okay. Andrés Camilo Correa.
Present teacher.
Okay. Andrés Corredor. Not here for the moment. Silvia Natalia Cuellar.
Present, teacher.
Okay. Johan Alberto Duque.
Present teacher.
Okay. Elkin Darío Fernández. Not here for the moment. Julián Jesús Figueroa.
Present teacher.
Okay. Ginette Valentina Fontecha. So that I have... No. I didn't see her. Carlos Andrés Galán.
Present teacher. Teacher, I don't listen the information at the start of the class because my internet not work well. Can you repeat later?
Sure. Yeah, well, actually, it wasn't like new information, just like couple of reminders, like one to continue working on the virtual campus, that it was more basically what I said.
Okay, teacher.
Okay. Mabel y Juliet Gamboa.
Present, teacher.
Okay, Andres Felipe Corredor, you raise your hand, you're here.
Yes, sorry. I was no on my computer. I was
I wasn't.
I wasn't.
Mhm.
Was like 5 meters away. So I didn't hear that when you called me. Sorry.
Okay, Andres, don't worry, you're here now. Well, you were always there.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Jose Alejandro Gomez. I will just give him a couple of seconds. Lizeth Carolina Tarazona.
Present, teacher.
Okay, and Brian Camilo Vargas. Brian Camilo.
Present, teacher.
Okay, Brian, there you are. And now, Jose Alejandro Gomez.
Here, teacher.
There you are. Very good. I already know what happens to Jean-Claude. So technically, the ones that are absent are Johan Alberto, Elkin Darío, Jeanette Valentina, and of course Jean-Claude, but he already informed the reason why he will be absent. Okay. Well, guys, as I was telling you, tonight we are going to continue working on our Unit 10 that we started yesterday. Of course, on the first part, we began having a look at some ways to make predictions. And we continue talking about the future, you know, and of course, this part is related to that. But in this case, we are talking about aspects that are not that, let's say, probable to happen in the future, probably compared to what we were discussing, when I say we, but we were with Professor Laura Juliana, on the first part of the session. And the first question that you see displayed on page 100 says, what would you do if you were invisible for a day? And you know, that's the question that I want to ask you to start tonight's session. Okay, welcome. There it is. The idea is very simple. You go to the link, sorry, that I provided. Maybe no. In this case, the idea is to keep it anonymous. I don't want you like to feel restrained. Of course, I want you to be respectful, of course, in the answers that you provide. But just in case there are any things to be corrected, I don't want you like to feel maybe embarrassed or something. A very short and simple idea, you know. Once again, what would you do if you were invisible for a day? You click on the link that I sent. Sorry. There we have this box. A very short idea. For the moment, I don't need you to expand or to be really descriptive. We will eventually, let's say, go into a very detailed explanation. For the moment, a very general answer. Okay? Guys, do you have any questions about the instruction? Questions?
Yes, teacher. No. No, teacher.
Okay, good. I'm gonna give you 5 minutes. Okay, maybe it's a kind of philosophical question, why not? And then we're going to read what your answers are. Okay, you already have the link. 5 minutes starting now. What would you do if you were invisible for a day? Okay, for the moment we have 11 replies. We can start having a look at them while the other 6 arrive. I have to check the attendance once again. Let's see. I will get on a plane and go to some paradise island. Nice. I would eat all the free burgers that I could. Okay. I always in capital letter. Y bueno, I assume that here the idea is that. But careful with the spelling.
Okay.
Okay. Sometimes you type too fast that you forget to have like a second look. If I were invisible for a day, I'd rob a bank. Okay. I capital letters. I capital letters. I will go to work meetings to obtain information. Aha. Corporate espionage. I would like heart different opinions about me. Ah, okay. Maybe you mean here. This one. Whoever wrote it down. And different double F. Ah, perdón, me faltó una cosa. About me. Eliminate two. Okay. We don't need it here in English. But even in Spanish. Take a break from the pressures of my work. Spend some time alone or doing things I enjoy without feeling judged or scrutinized. Do things. Para mantener la concordancia de todos los verbos van igual. Take a break. Perdón. Take, spend, do. So all of them are on the same, let's say, grammatical conjugation. Okay. If I were invisible for a day, I would do the same thing I do every day, but scaring my classmates just to record them and see their reactions. Okay. That's mean. I would sneak on a plane and travel to one of my dream destinations. Nice. I would like to go to the bank and take some money. Then I will go to the airport to have a free flight. That was from Sylvia. Sylvia didn't want to keep it anonymous. That's what she would like to do. If I were invisible for a day, I would visit different places such as museums, parks, and shops and learn about their history, culture without worrying about the crowd or the time limit and price. Very good. No, then Sylvia, don't worry. I told you if, like, to keep it anonymous just in case you didn't want to feel judged, you know, about the answer, but that's fine. Is likely to do something inappropriate, for example, rob a bank. I think it will be an interesting experience. Okay. Well, there are 11 answers out of 16. 5 people haven't replied or couldn't reply. We will eventually see. Well, guys, thank you very much. The ones that send your answers. Let's have a look now at the next part. Here, I'm going to go back to the presentation. But of course, as you could see from our book, these are the, let's say, first images that we have on pages 100 and 101. We're going to analyze a little bit the information that we have in here. We have already read your answers, like what would you do if you were invisible for a day? And now we're going to read about these 6 people, what they would do if they were invisible on a day. Let's see which answer is similar to yours. And then also I would like you guys to share which of these ideas would you consider actually interesting. So let's start reading. Andres Correa, could you read the first one, please?
Yes, teacher, the first one. I get on a first class flight to Cuba if I was invisible. I've always wanted to go there, but I've got no idea how I get back.
Okay. Well, in this case, it would be to Cuba, right? If you were invisible. And no idea how back. Okay, very good. Andres, thank you very much. Kainer, please, could you read number 2?
Yes, teacher. 2. If I was invisible, I'd follow my boyfriend around all day and I'd check that he doesn't flirt with anyone. I'd also listen to what my friends said about me when I'm not there.
Okay, very good. William, you are doing something on my slide.
Sí, teacher, es que iba a levantar la mano y tenía activado lo de dibujar. No me había dado cuenta. Pero
Ah,
tengo una pregunta.
don't worry, tell me.
En ese segundo texto, ahí no sería el condicional que las cosas son como no posibles,
But
sería como if
William,
I were.
why are you asking me in Spanish? I'm offended
Teacher,
now. Okay, tell me now.
okay. In the second test, she said like if I was invisible, but I remember last cycle, I think, we talked about conditional, and
Mhm.
for impossible situation is if I were, no?
Both possibilities are fine. In terms of the conditional, as you said, William, where would be more appropriate, but at the end of the day, both grammatical components work. So where would be
Okay.
like the best choice, but was is not incorrect. So they both work at
Okay,
the end of the day.
thank you.
Okay. Well, William, yeah, that is like something important to remember in this case. Well, Kenneth already read. The second situation is interesting. That would be it. Well, guys, I didn't ask you what their answers are really short, and I think they are kind of straightforward, but questions of vocabulary from number 2. No, they look simple.
Yes, teacher.
Please, yes.
Flirt.
Okay, that is a very kind of common word talking about relationships, you know? I don't know, guys, if you remember the meaning of flirt.
Coquetear.
Okay, very good. That's the one. Let's have a look at number 3. Brian, could you read it, please?
Yes, teacher, I will definitely play a few tricks on my friends if they call them to me. It will be really fun. Then who knows? Maybe we rob a bank and run away with the money. Just hooking.
Just joking. Okay, very good. Questions of vocabulary from this one?
Trick,
Sorry, Natalia, tricks?
tricks. Yes, teacher.
They're like jokes or pranks.
Oh, okay.
Mm.
Thank you.
Okay, welcome. And now let's have a look at number 4. Julian, could you read it, please?
I'd follow around someone mega famous, like the president or a Hollywood star, and I'd find out what their life is really like.
Very good. Thank you, Julian. Questions of vocabulary from that one?
Mega famous is a superlative?
Not necessarily, more like an intensifier. Superlative would be the most, for example, But no, mega just giving like more intensity to the adjective famous, but not superlative. Okay. Number 5, Natalia.
Okay, teacher. I don't know. I would cross the road. That's for sure. If I were invisible, someone might run me over.
Okay. What about that? Any questions related to vocabulary?
Run me over is meaning like a punch, a car punch her.
Yeah, like a kind of car accident on the street. It's more like connected to that idea. Perfect. And then we finish with number 6. Sorry. Let me ask Mabel.
What, teacher?
Could you read number 6, please?
Number 6, okay. If I were invisible for a day, I take my revenge on a girl from school who used to bully me. I will stand next to her and every 5 meters, I do something weird to scare her.
Weird.
Weird.
Okay. Guys, what's the meaning of revenge?
Venganza.
Ay, como vengarse.
Very good. That's the idea on that one. Well, guys, here we have 6 different people talking about what they would do if they were invisible for a day. You already shared your ideas. Remember, guys, that first of all, I'm going to give you 3 minutes, like for you to brainstorm and to analyze the answer that you're going to provide. One, which of these answers is similar to the answer that you provided, that some of you actually match some. And second, which you consider would be the most interesting from your point of view. So, as I told you, I'm going to give you 3 minutes, like to think of the answer that you're going to provide. As usual, first, we would start with the volunteers, and then I'm going to choose some of you also to share your ideas. Guys, questions about the instructions? Questions?
No, teacher.
Thank you very much.
No, teacher.
Okay, thank you, guys. 3 minutes starting now. Okay, guys, time's up. So any volunteer first to share your ideas?
Yes, teacher. Me.
Gerson, what about you?
Okay, teacher. For me, I think the most interesting is the first opinion, because there are many things we would like to do, but we currently can't. For example, taking a first class flight, take a class in F1 or Formula examples. That there are many examples. I see as an opportunity to learn what was never thought.
Okay. Thank you, Gerson. Let's have a look at another intervention. Any volunteer?
For me, teacher,
Julian, what about you?
I must agree with the number 4. Most about that follow around like a president from my country, Venezuela. But the most probably I won't just hear about their life,
Okay.
you know.
Okay, Julian. Thank you very much. Any other volunteer? Jessit, what about you?
Okay, teacher. What is more interesting for me? Now the first, because I think that he's from of Cuba, but I believe that he lives in the United States for the future.
He lives?
And yes, sorry, in live.
Lives.
I believe lives. And I believe that he want visit her relative in
His
Cuba.
relatives. He wants to visit his relatives.
His relative.
Okay, could be. Okay, Jessie, thank you. I saw that Mabeli had opened her microphone. Would you like to share yours, Mabeli?
Yes, teacher.
Okay. What about you?
Okay. The first question, the answer is most similar to me is the number 3. And the second question, I think the answer, the most interesting is the number 1, because I believe it will be a fantastic experience to travel on a first class.
Okay, Mabel, thank you very much. One more. I was expecting to ask 5 people whether volunteers or that I choose you guys. So, volunteer to finish this first socializing part.
Teacher, me.
Yes, Silvia, what about you?
About the first question, which answer is most similar to yours? I think the answer number 1 and number 3, because I would like to get on a first class flight to any country or any city. And the 3, because I would like to rob a bank, just a little money.
A little.
And yes. Which do you think is the most interesting? For me, is the last one, about the girl that said if she was invisible for a day, she will take revenge on a girl from the school who used to bully her, because for me it's very sad that like that answer.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Sylvia, thank you very much. Okay, guys, great. Well, I forgot, Magali, to tell you answer. Answer, remember that the W is silent. That would be it. Okay. All of them, of course, are providing their personal opinion from their perspectives, from their backgrounds, and whatever. There is a third question because, well, in this case, actually, we are having two questions in here. Well, we don't really need to read the comments again. We already did. Are the speakers, like in very general terms, although it is obvious, but it is necessary before we go to the grammatical component that we have for tonight? Guys, are the speakers, sorry, describing real or imaginary situations?
Imaginary situation, no?
Absolutely. First of all, being invisible up to this point today now at 8:38 p.m., it's an impossible thing to happen, right? So yes, we're talking about imaginary situations. At the beginning of the session, I was telling you that, well, okay, we had already started Unit 10, and we were talking about predictions for the future. And also on the first part of the session, you guys were talking about possible ways to talk about those predictions to be happening in the future. In some cases, with a high probability to happen. In other cases, related to a low probability to happen. But in this case, we're talking about almost an impossible probability to happen. We are talking about hypothetical situations using if. So, first aspect to keep in mind, we're talking about situations in the future that are probably not going to be true. So what is the context, or how can we probably, let's say, label it or organize it in our mind? Could be just something that we can imagine, or it is just a dream. This is probably one of the typical examples when we're talking about hypothetical situations using if. If I won the lottery, I would buy a big house. Probably I won't win the lottery. So the situation is absolutely imaginary, right? For example, if I met the Queen of England, I would say hello. This can't be more impossible now than ever, right? So if we look at all the examples that we have in here, notice that all the situations are just hypothetical, imaginary, and almost impossible to happen. Look at the sentences number 3 and number 4. They are, let's say, interchanged compared to number 1 and number 2. It says she will travel all over the world if she were rich. Notice that in this case, we are talking about like that imaginary result in the future. And then on the second part, I'm talking about, let's say, the hypothetical situation in present to happen. We can change the order of the words. I can say, if she were rich, comma, she would travel all over the world. She would pass the exam if she ever studied. If she ever studied, comma, she would pass the exam. And then in this statement, well, this is like the implicit idea. She never studies, so this won't happen. So we gotta be very careful. I'm just being dramatic, of course, when we use this type of statements, because the implicit idea is that we are just dreaming. Let's put it like that. The situation, it is almost impossible to happen in the future. That is one part. Second, notice that basically what we do is to put two sentences together. One being the condition and the other one being the result. Let's say that my imaginary condition, let's put it like that, goes with the verb, in this case, using the past simple form. Remember that it doesn't mean that the sentence is in past simple. It's just how the grammar works in this type of statements. And on the second part, for the moment, we are using would precisely to determine that the situation is imaginary to be happening in the future. Okay? On the same line, we can use it to talk about something in the present which is impossible because it is not true. If I had his number, I would call him. Just by looking at that sentence, what we can, let's say, conclude that I don't have the number of that person. As a conclusion, I can't call that person. And in the second example, it was what William was asking at the beginning. I uses were instead of was when we're talking about hypothetical situations. It is the most common way to make it. Was is possible. I'm just repeating what William had already asked, which was the idea on this second statement, where would be the most appropriate to talk about hypothetical situations. What would happen probably on an exam or something? Use where, okay? Just in case. So, if we want to use the technical names, because everything has a technical name, passive voice, reported speech, blah, blah, blah. When we're talking about these hypothetical situations, this is the second conditional. Second conditional is always to talk about hypothetical situations. So what is the difference with the first conditional? You know that the idea of the first conditional is that it is a more real thing to happen because the impact is in present. Let's have a look at this example. It says, if I have enough money, I'll buy some new shoes. With this statement, my implicit idea is that it is a more realistic outcome for me because having money would eventually happen in my future, So we don't have to provide like a long explanation, but just by using the first conditional, it is immediately understood that there is a possible situation to happen. Using the second conditional, once again, although it sounds a little bit dramatic, looks like it is just a dream. Once again, if I had enough money, I would buy a house with 20 bedrooms and a swimming pool. It's just an imaginary situation. Probably that dream won't come true. So technical name, second conditional. Once again, we are combining two sentences. One sentence has the grammatical component of past simple, but it doesn't mean past simple. And the second part talking about the outcome is using the modal would precisely to talk about how hypothetical that situation would be in the future, okay? The good thing is that we are refreshing our memory because you have already studied second conditional. So it is just like to, let's say, bring back that previous knowledge that you already have, guys. But anyway, questions from this part, any aspect that you would like to clarify from it?
Teacher,
Yes.
in the first conditional, I use the simple present.
Yes. Could be affirmative, negative, verb to be. Like for example, if I don't go to the meeting, blah, 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 blah. Of if she doesn't like the report, etc., etc. So yes, in first conditional, we use present. Very good.
And the second conditional, I use the past simple or past continuous.
Well, usually in this type,
past simple.
Yeah, simple tenses. Yeah, with the hypothetical situations, the combination is with simple tenses. But I think that at the end of the day, they can be combined.
Okay, teacher, thank you.
Yeah, but usually it's with simple tenses, to be honest. Thank you. And of course, it may sound obvious once again. If we're talking about past simple, could be also negative, right? If they didn't buy whatever, but we use the auxiliary verb, once again, not thinking of it as past, but just like the grammatical combination. In some cases, we use more example like affirmative, right? Unfortunately, that's the most common way to have examples, but we know that negative statements also exist. Well, guys, we're going to practice a little bit. Let me share with you a link. Well, I'm gonna go to this one. Let me share the screen first, although you can imagine what the activity is about. When I send you the link that I haven't sent, you are going to see these statements all, let's say, incomplete. What you have to do is to put the first part of the statement on the corresponding second part. Which are the aspects that you have to keep in mind? We're talking about second conditional. Well, that is not going to change. That means that one part has the past simple and the other part has the would, okay? We can't have two parts using past simple and two parts using would. Okay, that wouldn't make any sense at all. So that is going to be the idea on this part. I thought that I was sharing the game, but it's pretty much the same. Okay, so well, for the moment, I'm going to let me make an example. This one. If I were in the army, comma, because when we begin with the if, then we have to put the comma, I would be very afraid. So once again, we consider the situation as hypothetical. You will notice that probably there are some ideas that look possible, but then if you see that some ideas look way too crazy, you have like, let's say that you notice that this one was not like correct, so you take it back to the box, but this one is correct. When you put all the boxes in the corresponding part, you click on submit, then we would eventually have a look at all the answer key. Okay, so officially I'm gonna send you the link to the chat. Remember to write down your name. I made a mistake. Give me a moment. I put it like to finish it at 8 p.m. Sorry. I'm gonna adjust the time frame. Change deadline. I think that is the same link, guys. If you had already opened it, could you refresh the page and let me know if now it works correctly, please?
No,
No,
teacher.
teacher.
No.
Well, I guess that I
Doesn't work.
have. Okay. Well, I'm gonna create a new one. Okay, so today is the 20th, right? Yeah, I'm gonna create just a new challenge. That's how they call it here. I sent a new link, guys. Would you let me know, please, if this one works?
Yes, teacher.
Great. Okay. There you have the statements. Remember that you have to use only one. So you can't repeat any of the words. I'm gonna give you 10 minutes. Okay, make sure that the statements make sense. It is a kind of challenge, so it's a little bit similar to Kahoot. In terms of if you take less time, and of course you get the correct answers. And I don't want to interrupt you anymore. I'm gonna display probably this slide just in case you need to check something in particular. 10 minutes starting now. Okay. Well, first of all, we are going to have a look at the podium. Well, 14 answers out of around 16. I'm going to refresh the page first. Yes. So, William, Lisette, and Andres. Your score was 10, of course, and you answered faster. Very good, guys. Let's have a look now at the answer key because, well, as you already noticed here, like in the statistics report, let's put it like that. Some of you probably confused, let's put it like that, some of the statements. Let me share the presentation to have a look at the answer key. These are the ones. As I told you, there were some that you may like consider they would fit somehow. But then if you weren't that sure, probably you would have found some weird combinations, just in case. Guys, any questions about the statements? Okay. Noted that we had affirmative and negative, as we were already stating at the beginning, like in the example, I would get crazy if I didn't have a vacation. In this case, it's negative, so the auxiliaries didn't. And well, you already know that then we don't make any transformation to the verb. Also, we can talk about negative as the result in the future. If I were famous, I wouldn't have any privacy. Normal. I mean, one part is the condition, the statement using if, and the result, the part with would, in this case, negative, but it works perfectly. So could be affirmative and affirmative, negative, affirmative, affirmative, negative, negative and negative, but respecting the past and the would on the result. Okay? Questions, guys, questions? Okay.
No, teacher.
Great. We're going to have a look now at the activity that we have on the book. It is a little bit extensive, and this is the activity that we are going to do collaboratively. As I have already told you at the beginning of the session, the final output of the session, let's say, like the individual practice is going to be done like we always do it through our shared PowerPoints, but this one is going to be done on your books. The instruction says, complete the conversations with the correct form of the verbs in brackets. So notice that here we have 5 mini conversations. What you have to do is to analyze the information in order to complete them. Remember the point of reference. For example, notice that on the first one, it begins with if. That means that in this case, the grammatical conjugation of have has to be in past simple, right? Also keep in mind that maybe the statement, it's a question. So we have to make the adjustment when the statements are questions, you know, we change the order of the words. Well, those basic things that you already know. That is going to be the idea. As I told you, I'm going to send you to the breakout rooms. Then when we get back, we are going to check our answers. I'm checking here the names. Give me a moment. But I think that Julian is twice. Yes, very good. Let me make sure that you can share your screen, and that would be it. Guys, you are going to have 15 minutes. It looks like a lot of time, but notice that you have to analyze all the statements. If you like know the verbs by heart, like you are absolutely sure about them, great. In case that you don't remember the verbs in past simple, look them up. Like don't be too proud. If you need to look at the verb, look at the verb. Don't forget the combinations. And once again, be careful when you see that it is a question or a negative statement. Guys, do you have any questions about the instructions? Someone left. Okay. Let's take your silence as no questions.
Teacher, I don't hear, excuse me, I don't hear the correct instruction. Can
The,
you repeat me again the instructions?
yes, the idea is to complete the statements. Our point of reference is going to be to make the sentences using the second conditional, right? That's basically the idea. So I was giving you this first part as an example. When we have if, that means that the verb has to go in past simple. So that means that then on the second part after the comma, we have to use the would, in this case, in an affirmative way. Just like to be careful, you know, with the combinations that you have to make in here for the statements. But that was it, actually. Right. No more. Let's start. And set up the timer. When everybody's on their corresponding group, I will send a message to let you know that you have 15 minutes. Okay, guys, welcome back. Before I ask you to read the answers, actually, we're going to listen and check, okay? Make sure that you pay attention to the information. So with the listening, you're going to compare the answer that you wrote and the information that it is presented on the track. Anyway, we're going to listen twice, and then I'm going to ask you to read the conversations, okay? Let me, Julian Jesus, tell me.
Teacher, the verbs we need to use in past simple or past participle.
Past participle, no. When we are using if, because it is the second conditional, the grammatical structure has to be past simple when we use if. That is like the rule, let's put it like that. Let's listen.
Recording 7. 1.
If you had the opportunity, would you listen to what other people said about you behind your back?
I don't think so. I'd be too worried about what I might hear. 2.
Would you ever steal money, if no one could find out?
No, I'd never steal money. Even if no one knew, I'd feel guilty.
3.
If someone did something really unkind to you, would you take revenge?
I don't think so. I'd try to forget about it and focus on other things.
If someone was really horrible to one of my family, I might do something horrible back to them.
4. If you were suspicious of your partner, would you ever follow him?
No, I think that would be a really stupid thing to do. If I thought he was doing something wrong, I'd ask him about it.
5. Would you ever travel first class without a ticket?
I'm a real coward, so no, I wouldn't dare. If someone caught me, I'd feel so embarrassed.
Let's listen one more time.
Unit 10, Recording 7. 1.
If you had the opportunity, would you listen to what other people said about you behind your back?
I don't think so. I'd be too worried about what I might hear. 2.
Would you ever steal money, if no one could find out?
No, I'd never steal money. Even if no one knew, I'd feel guilty.
3.
If someone did something really unkind to you, would you take revenge?
I don't think so. I'd try to forget about it and focus on other things.
If someone was really horrible to one of my family, I might do something horrible back to them.
4. If you were suspicious of your partner, would you ever follow him?
No, I think that would be a really stupid thing to do. If I thought he was doing something wrong, I'd ask him about it.
5. Would you ever travel first class without a ticket?
I'm a real coward, so no, I wouldn't dare. If someone caught me, I'd feel so embarrassed.
Okay. Now I'm gonna ask you guys to share your answers. Small groups. Dun, dun, dun. Well, it was group 6, although we didn't have group 5, but whatever. So from group number 1, we have A and B. Carlos, could you read A, and Natalia, could you read B, please?
Yes, teacher. If you had the opportunity, I would. One moment. La parte A?
Yes.
Okay,
Until the question mark.
If you have the opportunity, you listen to what other people say about you behind your back.
But Carlos, it looks like you were using present. No, right?
would you
Oh, in
listen?
past, in past.
I mean, the whole transformation, like using the second conditional.
Yes.
Because I hear like if you have, no, if you had,
You had.
right?
Had. Yes, in past.
Okay.
You had.
The opportunity. And then the second line, what did you say?
Would you listen?
Mm-hmm. Dun, 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 dun. And what would be the answer, Natalia?
I don't think so. I would be too worried about what I might hear.
I might hear. Very good. In most of the cases, they use contractions in the answers. And, the contractions sometimes are tricky. We don't really get them, but like in our hearts, we know that the second conditional most of the time uses would. Very good. Group number 2. Elkin, could you read A and Mabel B, please?
Okay, teacher. Could you ever steal money? If no, could find out?
Mabel?
No, I never steal money. Even if no one knew, I feel guilty.
Very good. Very good. Let's have a look at group number 3. Gerson, could you read 8? And Johan, could you read B, please?
Teacher, sorry.
Yes.
The last question. The last question is I feel.
I would feel. I'm sure that Mabel used a contraction, right?
Oh, okay. Thank you, teacher.
Okay, for purposes to get every single thing, let's not use contractions yet. So all of us can get the answer. But yes, Mabel, you use the contraction. Yes, Mabel? Mabel?
Yes, teacher.
You use contraction. Okay, very good. Just to confirm. So Gerson, A and Johan B from number 3.
Okay, teacher. If someone did something really unkind, would you take revenge?
I don't think so. I will try to forget about it and focus on other things.
Gerson?
Again? Okay.
Yeah, because to A,
Yes,
sorry.
teacher. No problem. If someone was really horrible to one of my family, I would do something horrible back to them.
Very good. In grammar, that combination would work, but notice that in the listening, they also use a different model, right? Do you remember the model that they use in the answer?
I might do something.
Very good. So the typical combination would be would. The idea of using might is like to give, if you use might, it gives it a little more like reality to that possible result in the future. But keep in mind that the result has a model. Second conditional has a preferent model. Let's put it like that. That is would. In this case, might also works. Good, guys. Let's have a look at number 4. Andres Felipe, could you read
Teacher,
A?
sorry.
Yes.
I didn't understand. So I can use my or was for this case in A.
My or what? Or what was the other one that you said? Might.
If someone might is okay.
No.
Okay. I don't understand.
No. If always for the second conditional goes in past. That is
Okay.
not like negotiable. Let's put it like that. It's the part of the result that has would. We can change it with other low probability model, The typical combination is with would, but you can say may, you can say might, even could, but would is like the preferred one for the result.
Thank you, teacher.
Okay, I'm gonna move these hands. Maybe you don't get confused with that part. I was saying number 4, Andres Felipe A, and Brian Camilo B.
If you were suspicious of your parents, you will ever
It's a question.
okay. Will you ever follow him?
Will?
Um,
Second
no?
conditional. Will? No.
Okay. If you are special,
Which is the model that we have been using the most in the second conditional, Andres? It's not will.
would
Would.
would you ever follow him?
That's it. Brian, the answer.
No, I think that would be a really stupid thing to do. If I thought he was doing something wrong, I would ask him about it.
That's it. Very good. In this case, compared to the statements when in the result we were using might, we can't use will because will gives a real probability. Probably you remember from the first part of the session tonight, talking about different ways to talk about probabilities in the future. Will is the one that gives us like a certainty. So in this case, will can't be used for hypothetical situations. Any low probability model, but will is a high probability model. And we finish with the last one. Let's see, Kainer, read A and Jessit B.
Okay, teacher. Would you ever travel first class without a ticket?
I'm unreal coward. So no, I were there. If someone called me, I feel so embarrassed.
Embarrassed. I wouldn't dare, right? Or would not dare. Like the not is present. Very good. There are like other two conditionals that we will eventually study them through the development of the course. This is the second one. The good thing is that we're combining structures that we already know. That's the idea of conditionals, you know, like present with future. We already know present simple. We already know future simple. In this case, past simple and modals. We already know past simple and we already know modals. Okay. Well, guys, and the final, let's say, activity, as I was telling you, tonight we have a written product that is going to be individually. It is about the following part. It says, read the moral dilemmas. You are going to choose 5 and decide what you would do. It's a little bit similar to the previous exercise that you were doing, like there is a situation that is proposed, and then using the second conditional, because that's the idea, you are going to provide your opinion about them. Let's read the moral dilemmas that we have in here. Julian, could you read number 1, 2, and 3, please?
Julian or William? Sorry.
Julian, sorry.
Okay. Never say never. Will you ever travel on a train without a ticket? Lie to someone close to you? Pretend to be ill to get the day of work or college?
That would be it. Thank you very much. Carlos, please, 4, 5, and 6.
Yes, lend a large sum of money to a friend, drive above the speed limit, 6, hit someone.
That would be it. William, please, 7, 8, and 9.
Okay, teacher. Give a lift in your car to a complete stranger. Keep some money that you found in the street and walk out of a restaurant without paying.
That would be it. Well, guys, first, any questions related to vocabulary?
Teacher,
Okay.
what is sum? Lend a large sum?
Like a large quantity or amount. Any other? Okay. Well, I'm gonna send you the link. I'm gonna display the image. so you know which slide you are supposed to be working on. In this case, well, as you already noticed, of course, we are talking about an individual exercise. Notice, guys, instruction, there are 9, but you only have to choose 5. What is going to be the idea? What you would do in those situations. The intention, of course, is for you to use the second conditional. That is like the main idea or the main purpose. I know it's the same image that we have in the book. I know that you could answer like in a different way, in a very simple structure, but well, guys, we are B1. So up to this point, we need to expand those different ways to communicate. In this case, talking about the second conditional. So I'm gonna give you a minute to write down the names. Tirson already did it. And then we start working. Well, I'm gonna change the slide, basically. 1 minute and then we go. Let's see. So Gerson already is on the first one. That was the minute to write down the names. Okay, and the second one, slide number 3. Jean-Claude, okay, he's not here tonight. Slide number 4. The 6. Excellent, muy bien. 13, I guess that's Jeanette. Very good. 16, Jose Alejandro on 16. He left some time ago already. It's set and Camilo. Very good. Well, guys, I'm going to give you 10 minutes. I don't want to interrupt your ideas, and then I'm going to start checking some of the idea that you have created. Keep in mind, guys, the idea, the intention is to use the second conditional, okay? And to provide extra information, you know? We'll see. Well, guys, I'm going to have a look at a few statements, although we're about to finish. Just keep in mind some aspects that I was checking. In case that the statement is negative on the part about the condition, when I say the condition is the part, sorry, with if. For example, if I didn't have, I already saw a few of you guys that you said if I hadn't. Hadn't is the auxiliary for past perfect. But in this case, we're using past simple. So, well, I'm not going to tell you which ones because I will be like giving you the answers right away. And that's not the point. But keep that in mind. In case that you have something negative in the part of the condition with the verb have, didn't have, not hadn't. Keep in mind, that will be past perfect. Well, remember that is the condition part is in past once again. Well, for example, Mabel, in your case, notice that you say if I see. Am I sharing the whole screen? Yes. So see is present. Keep that in mind that the part with if requires the verb in past. Mabel, what is the past of see?
So.
So, very good. Well, I know that probably at this time we're tired. That's like the reason. Remember that anyway, as usual, tomorrow, you have until 6 p.m. to make any adjustment, probably as usual, having a look at it with fresh eyes. And maybe you discover those, let's say, many things that sometimes we don't see because we're already tired. Let's see, Carlos says. Carlos, if I saw the robber, I would hit it?
Ladrón is robber? No.
Okay. No, my eyes are tired. For a moment, I saw hit it como esconder. No, hit, like a punch. No, my mistake, Carlos, sorry. Okay, good. Let me see very quickly. Remember, guys, only 5, just in case. Sorry. Okay. Okay. Well, Sylvia, you decided to do online. Ay. No sé. Camilo, Andres Camilo. You have traveled here in present. Remember to make the adjustment to past, okay?
Okay, teacher, thank you.
Okay. That's it. Remember, I always in capital letter. And you have it in the in all the 3 statements that you have. Mayúscula, Jessit. Okay, guys. Well, I don't want to take up more of your time as usual. Thank you very much. Remember that you have until tomorrow. And guys, tomorrow, one of the things that we're going to do, of course, continue working on our unit 10, is to start deciding on the groups for the final speaking part. Remember, guys, that next Friday, the 28th, we will have the final exam. And you guys are going to decide the people you will be working with. So that is one of the things that we will be doing tomorrow. Let me see. I don't remember the number of the slide. 5. Okay, Natalia, that was good. Well, guys, as usual, thank you very much. Have a good night and see you tomorrow. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.
Thank you,
Thank you, teacher.
teacher.
Good night, teacher. Bye.